Welcome back to the Not Televised Revolution, where I'm still kind of new at this, and still kind of working on it, but it's all good. It is definitely all good. And we have Mesa Wind, and she is a piece of fireworks. I'm very glad to have you here.
Hi. I wanted to talk today about the U.S. and Russian relations, if that's okay. And
you host it. I'll try to give my feedback.
All right. So basically, for the past 2 years, it's been a red scare: Russia, 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 and oh my God, it's all their fault, and it's them, it's them, it's them. And all this time, it was the CIA saying they have this ability to make any kind of intrusion in computers look like it came from somebody else.
Oh, an act of war?
Yeah. So, computer intrusion. So they can make any hack look like it has some kind of IP label and an address that it doesn't actually have. And also, and Putin, you got to think about it. Here is a man, he's surrounded on all sides by how many U.S. Army bases, installations, secrets. The United States has 700 bases around the world. How many does Russia have?
700 is the low estimate.
850. But still, anyone else have bases like that around the world? Does Russia?
No.
Do you know?
No.
Okay. And we've had a Cold War treaty since, Reagan and who was it, Gorbachev? Was that the right one? They had this Cold War treaty to not have intermediate missiles, and yet, we've been using Russia as a scapegoat to avoid what's happening internally in America for the past couple of years, because it was DNC fraud straight up. It was nobody else but, the own DNC doing that, and that's where Seth Rich died, because he found out about a lot of that, and that gave information to WikiLeaks. Now, let's look at what's been happening. Well, first off, we got the gas prices going really artificially low. Do you remember that? It's starting to go up again, right? But they went really, really low. And I knew immediately, it was kind of like, all right, you know how when Walmart, you got to stop that poison you're doing. That's poison. Yeah, poison. Yeah, not into it. Anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well,
really do.
It's only legal because 500,000 people die a year in America from cigarette smoking.
Money.
It's Social Security. That's 500,000 people a year who don't get paid out. That's not written into the bottom line. Yeah. So counting on your dime so they don't have to, all that, good little worker bee stuff you've been doing for the man, they get to keep it.
Profit from pain.
So at least
that I want us to do on this podcast is enlighten people on that. Like, people are making profit off of our pain, and it's very important. And that's why I'm so excited to have you on the show, because you can talk about that. You make it.
Well, all I got to do is switch to at least 100% tobacco. Roll your own, because that's half the damage, and it won't be as addictive because of all the extra stuff they slide in there and sneak in there. So at least switch to Native American spirits or some other 100% tobacco. I believe Winston's 100%. So something, yeah.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. But I also want to just throw in my disclaimer that when I'm working hard, which is what I feel like I'm doing now, I'm working hard to bring a message, including your message, to everyone. I'm working hard to figure out this technology. It's like office work. That I'm doing for absolutely free, so it kind of like stresses me out just a little bit.
I do.
So I just want to touch on that.
Stop smoking.
Thank you. I love you too.
Right. So where was I? We were talking about the DNC and fraud, and how they were blaming Russia when it was a leak, not a hack, because the download speeds for the amount of material could not have been a hack. It had to be an in-house thumb drive. So that happened. But nobody can know this because propaganda is legalized. We can't have true journalism. In fact, our true journalists.
Another one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so, I mean, RT, you can't really trust them about their own stuff in Russia, but they are being truthful about everything else around the world. They want everyone to know just what the hell's going on.
I agree with that. Like, how great was it when Jimmy Dore took over the Jesse Ventura show for 2 months? That was amazing. You know, they let you do your thing on RT.
So what we're looking at right now, from all the trying to go to war with Russia, I mean, 2 years by not getting the Clinton crime syndicate into office, who were they're the ones who've been wanting the war all along, and they're still aiming for it. They're going to get it, but they don't care about the destruction. The destruction that's going to happen with these new toys that they're rolling out on both sides of the ocean. What's happening on the Russia side? It was a leak, an accidental. Oh, we didn't mean to send that out, but it was a direct warning. This is the plans we have. We have these hypersonic missiles that are undetectable in the ocean, and they can cause tsunamis. And we will target not just where the missiles are coming from, but the centers of decision making. They said they would target Camp David and all that other stuff, which I wouldn't blame them, because that's just cockroaches, sociopathic cockroaches. And we need to clean house big time, because we are ruled by sociopaths. And Russia's been like, hey, we don't want to do this. Let's have diplomacy. Here's diplomacy. And we've been like a bully in the play yard, going, hey, you, I'm pushing on you. What are you going to do about it? And that's how we're doing to Russia. It's just, hey, what are you going to do? And you're going to push back. And you can kick out. But you don't want to start a fight. You're trying to hey, I'm going to get in trouble too. The cops are going to get called. But we're going to have lots of catastrophe and fallout. How about we work this out and not have to fight?
No.
And the United States, we're going to take you. We're number one. And it's not like that.
I want my face to be on the video screen when I respond to you, but I want to keep scrolling through this article for everyone to hang on. Man, war is a racket. War is a racket. It's a for-profit thing.
Absolutely.
You always got to follow the money, and come on in, my dude.
Military. That's where everyone's like, oh, this service and that service, and people in the street, and not just poverty and homeless and jobs and bridges collapsing and dams breaking. This is all due to all that money going to war profiteer pockets. And they gotta lie to you. They gotta tell you that, hey, we gotta go fight that enemy. We're not gonna tell you that we're airdropping funds and money into the desert that somehow get caught and picked up by Daesh, is it ISIS? Daesh?
When do we ever hear that 51% of our discretionary budget goes to the military? Like, when do we ever hear people talk about that? That's one of the biggest goals of me launching this effort. Common sense. We spend more than half of our money destroying everybody else, and we wonder why they want to immigrate here. Well, we just spent half of our money destroying them, so...
But this game of being the bully in the playground and wanting to fight, it's like they don't even know that who they're picking on can kick their ass, especially with alliances, because China's not happy with us. Nobody in the world is happy with the United States and taking everybody resources. Oh, I know what I was getting to before I was interrupted.
Bring it on.
The gas price.
No, bring it on. Like, really bring it on.
The gas prices.
What crisis? I'm sorry, you broke up. Debt crisis?
It was artificially deflated, where it was cheap gas prices. Why?
Okay.
It's like when Walmart would come into an area and would undercut everybody's prices, so they would have to close shop. That's what I was seeing. It was like, why would oil magnates, energy mafia, want to cut their costs, their profits? Well, Venezuela and Russia. If everything's cheap, barrel on the dollar, oh yeah, if everything's cheap, barrel on the dollar, we will bankrupt those countries, and they won't have what they need.
Sanctions. It's another roundabout sanctions. Okay.
However, Venezuela wasn't ready for it, but Putin, being the smart man he was like, well, we're going to have a rainy day fund. He actually had his soldiers go and mine diamonds and gold for a rainy day fund to hedge against the oil dropping so low that they wouldn't have any money. So they were able to weather that artificial dip, whereas Venezuela couldn't. So yeah, that was a manipulation of the markets right there, and that was crazy. And he was smart enough to weather it. I mean, people don't know enough about Russia. They got rid of the GMOs. None allowed, or
they're a sovereign nation, not packed with idiots. I mean, they're free people, correct? Like they get to do
Rothschild, the banking that because the bankers are who run the world, and he kicked them out.
Yeah.
So all that, got rid of them, and you got to be strong. Yes, Russia's tough,
right?
But they're dealing with the Russian mafia, the crazy Russian mafia.
That's what we do to everyone that tries to get off our petrodollar. Explain the petrodollar in your own words real quick. Not like people don't know. Just throw it out there real quick.
You do it.
Okay, the petrodollar means you can only buy oil in the U.S. American dollar. And in order to have access to the U.S. American dollar, you have to play along with the IMF and the World Bank. And it's brutal. And if you are a struggling country and you want to get a loan from the World Bank or the IMF, you have to do it in the petrodollar, and that's where it gets really scary. That's where it's like, you owe us your natural resources at this point. Because
they give loans,
but
they don't to pay them back. They expect resources to be, they just want it to get leverage.
Yeah.
And there's a book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and that's the book that will teach you all about how they've invaded countries and installed puppet dictators that would play ball, just like what happened in Ecuador with Marino and Assange. They gave them an IMF bribe of billions of dollars, and the country's always going to be in debt now, but Marino gets to walk away with how much, I don't know. But he'll stuff his pockets with that and never pay it back. He sold the country out for however amount of silver. So,
or,
it's a big deal.
Or however many lives, if you really want to think about it. If you're the rest of the world and you're not America and you got all these weapons pointed at you, like, made the best bargain he could. Yeah. Good old corn syrup. Oh, yeah.
Vitamin water? I don't think so. Is it? I'll have to reread. I didn't think of that. But okay. If so, I'll have to switch.
Well, no, I mean in general, like, if you don't do what America tells you, there's going to be consequences.
Oh, absolutely. The bully of the world. But we're about to get KO'd. And it's scary. And what corner in the world can you hide in with this kind of like world, power play? Because there's no corners on a globe. Sorry, Flat Earth, there's no corners on a globe. So
Yeah.
What's coming? So we got that hypersonic missile that can hit our shores and cause tidal waves. They only need 2 ships, undetectable, on either side of the country, and kaboom! There's the entire coastline. That's all the centers of America, because we're all on the coast. Whereas Russia, all their important places are inland. So our access to hurting them is a lot less than how they can hurt us.
At least 900 times more. Pretty much.
So,
I was gonna say you mentioned 700 bases, but the estimates that I get are more like 900 to 1,000. I don't want to say that's semantics. I think that's a little more important than semantics. Like, you can fit a lot of people out of airbase, you know?
Like, if you want to, I don't know if you can pull up on your phone. I don't know if it drops me out of here to try to grab something for you. I've never used it before. So, but you can look up the Russian the ballistic missiles in shipping containers. Do you know about those?
All right. Welcome to episode 2 of season 3 of the Not Televised Revolution. We're still learning our technology here. I'm still making sure everyone has plenty of time to read the first article you shared with me.
Okay.
I know you're not looking at the final product, but I am. And
okay.
Let me let everyone read the rest of the article. Here we go.
Okay.
So we'll hang out here for just a few seconds. And then what am I looking up next?
What's that?
What am I looking up?
You're looking up the shipping container missile. It's what Russia is actually exporting to people who want to buy it. Now, I don't know if anyone knows about this one. Gulftainer or Pelican Gate, hashtag Gulftainer. Port Canaveral here in Florida, where I am, the Arab Emirates owns the port. Now, we always are so concerned about security that we can't even carry a bottle of water on a plane, as we're little cattle shooting it everywhere. But Arab Emirates own the port of Canaveral. And so whatever goes through there in ships,
oh boy,
between human trafficking, but these shipping containers that Russia is selling,
I'm getting a taste of what you're stepping in, and this is the worst perversion of the best story I've ever told that I could ever imagine. I was living outside one summer. Give me a second, and I found a shipping container, and it was full of beer. This is the exact opposite of that story. Oh man.
Yeah, you wouldn't. This one
background, people can see it.
Okay, so I've actually reached out to the NSA and Homeland Security and said, "Excuse me, what are we doing about canceling that lease to the Arabs? So that's Muslim, this is American sovereign soil, and there's this wide open, come and anything you got going through those gates, because how are we going to know?" And especially now that you see the shipping container that what is a transformer, boom, right? It's just transformer.
Yeah, that's exactly the picture that I'm showing in the background right now.
It's that transformer of death. So that's
it
where
took me like 3 seconds to find it too, and that's why we need to encourage the discussion. Full throttle, talk about everything,
Well, I actually did reach out.
I wouldn't have thought of that if I didn't call you. Like, holy crap, I forgot about that.
I actually reached out to Homeland Security and go, hey, what are we doing? I mean, I'm a patriot. I believe in this country. I don't believe in the cockroaches, the same.
How did you do that? Because I actually went around for a while, like, looking for various ways to contact the military, and I couldn't find anything.
I did it online because they kept everything online. And it was a direct question on their website. And I placed it out there like, major hole in security. What are we doing about it? And because obviously, especially with Saudi Arabia trafficking children, child brides, that port, they teamed up with CMEX, which is the human trafficking pipeline through Mexico into America, and everywhere else. Cemex is the company that has a blood patent in their cement. Did you know that part? Cemex, CEMEX.
I know that people need to hear a little bit more about cement, and I know that you're an environmentalist. Would you like to talk about that for a second?
It's not so much it's the fact that they are the human trafficking pipeline. They are the ones who can transport drugs, weapons, and kids. They make tunnels, they make cement, and one of their patents to show that. Why would you need a patent for blood and cement? Where would that come from? That's for like rituals, maybe satanic.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and you can look up. They have a patent for it, and we know the reason. Water's cheaper. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, and they can. Their furnaces are so hot they can get rid of any evidence, any bodies, any bones. It's cremation dust, and or in their foundations. They're quite good at that. Also, that Russian, the Skripal, the Russian poisoning. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Skripal poisoning. The Russian diplomat, the daughter. They were poisoned, and they blamed Russia. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's. Skripal,
There's so much news flying past us every day that.
Okay. Well,
yeah, let's cover it.
Picture of where they found the girl's car, because it said it came through vents, this type of poisoning, this plutonium, whatever it was. There was a Cemex truck in the background, and no one's connecting dots here. Yeah. First came my first months ago. Hashtag VOP, Veterans on Patrol, when they came across the rape camp that the police bulldozed rather than get forensic evidence. VOP figured out that this rape camp was on Cemex property in Arizona.
Okay.
And they're the ones who made the connection, and then we made the connection to the Skripal poisoning because the Cemex truck was right there.
Right. So, once you understand just how dangerous cement is for the world, you know how much pollution you're putting out before you cover the ground with cement and don't plant plants anymore. It doubles and triples once you look at the whole picture. And so, of course, people behind cement are probably evil people.
Well, this company, very evil. In fact, everyone who is saying, well, the Pizzagate people, they didn't have a basement. Well, they didn't look at DuPont Circle, the abandoned subway line that's right there, that connects to Camp David, right through. It's just a very convenient spot. And the tunneling company, a cement company, is right on that same block, which can connect every place with hidden tunnels. So, yeah, kill room, like they said in their Instagram, very much so. And it's just, everyone thinks, all these different conspiracies. It's one conspiracy, just like Hydra, all the tentacles everywhere. That's what we're dealing with, is a Hydra. And they got tentacles on both sides and above it. And playing everybody.
Wow. I'm so far I've been kind of asking you the questions. I want you to ask me some questions. Yeah, I want you to pick my brain.
Okay. I don't know.
Challenge me like you don't know me. You know, like what do you really want to say to people? You know you're good with me, but pretend you're not for a second or something.
I guess I just want people to let go of their comfort zone and research. I know that cognitive dissonance is a problem. This is where you're holding two opposing thoughts and you can't handle this one because it's not your comfort zone. So you gotta oh, this isn't happening. And
so I want to touch on that, because I want this to be a softball to everyone. Cognitive dissonance is where you believe a lie and you believe the truth at the same time, and you have to do all these mental gymnastics to deal with it. That's why it's dissonant. It's the lie and the truth at the same time, and you believe them both. Go ahead.
So you have all these behaviors to cover up for that, whether it's you have to unfriend and have your echo chamber, right, so you feel comfortable. And it's not a safe way to, everyone will feel safe and secure.
Far too common, though.
And then the shock, it will be overwhelming when that bubble gets popped.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pop the bubble sooner before there's collateral damage. And there's been too much around the world. It really hasn't hit here, even though it has stressed everybody out as far as our culture and thug life and everything that's going on. But they want us so stressed and anxious, yes, so that we can't make a difference. And if we can all stand up, get rid of fluoride, because that's what makes us apathetic. It causes hyper and hypothyroidism. You can look it up. But they're kind of phasing
there actually is a lot of diet and spirit stuff you and I could talk about on the show. Mm-hmm. we need probiotics. We need
trace
fiber. We need fiber. We need vitamin E's. We need to stop eating.
Chelation is a combination of chlorella and because we have to get the heavy metals out of our system.
Right.
And those heavy metals are the reason, aluminum is it's super high. It's a neurotoxin. It causes what do you call it? Yeah, I'm getting Alzheimer's. Part-timers.
Oh, it's totally good for us. They're spraying it on the sky on us, so we just trust them with that. That's right. What?
Russia doesn't put up with that. They don't have.
No, there's a lot of things that you can do in America that you can't do in other countries because they get it. Using Monsanto products and stuff.
What we should do is make this thing a live thing. Questions that pop up.
It's in the works. We need to develop an audience, right?
I would like that.
No, this is the first. I said it almost. I'm going to timestamp this because I think you said it at the exact same time I did for the first episode. But I'm getting the band together. And I'm showing you how easy it is. You know what I mean? And I'll send you an email to the show-specific email. I have an email set up just for the show. I'll give you the password, and you can upload whatever you want. And so, if I get enough people doing this, I've basically built a network for free. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to talk people into it. I think you're starting to get it.
Okay.
Amazing people. I know you know amazing people, and you can't tell me you don't. And you can call them, and they'll hang out with you. I know it's true. We know people that are in Congress, running for Congress. We know all that kind of people.
I usually go out and have fun because the moment is so precious. You don't know when that switch is going to happen. That I like to have a lot more fun than average because when it's gone, it's gone. And we've been, I'm going to wear a lemming, resisting the tide. Don't want to lift off. Right. That's not my handle. That's what I say.
I'm just trying to make that amazing spark happen from my home. There we go.
So anyway, that's my addition to what you're doing. So
awesome. Well, okay. Wow, that was amazing. I guess that was the intro section. So Now everyone knows Mesa.
Search those names. Look up CMEX. Look up what's going on with the different articles, like Russia, and you can look up Seth Rich and the DNC.
Yeah.
One of the things that came out that maybe people might not know about Seth Rich is what he first saw, that according to his girlfriend, which is scrubbed from the internet now, but she said that he found that the Hillary website would send people to polls in their area. Now, these polls that they went to vote at was not the actual poll addresses that were legitimate. They had a double place, a hidden place, so they would swap out the voting drive from those machines and make the numbers match to the other one. Like, you could just swap it out and it's all pro-Hillary.
Right.
So, and that was where he started looking into the emails, and that's what got him killed.
Right. There's a lot of lies that are so big that they're hard to believe. And the one thing that Trump has on his side is figured out how to work that system. You know?
Well, I was hoping that, Q was right and that they would round.
Oh, Q. We're going to talk on Q. All right.
I'm not a big Q person.
You don't have to be. It's interesting either way. I'm not a big Q person, but it's fascinating. Like,
I think it's a PSYOP. I'm hoping it's true. I want it to be right and true. But I think it's a PSYOP of the patriots to keep them waiting to see what's going to happen and trust the plan.
Yep.
And it was to consolidate the tentacles of Hydra.
And doesn't where we go one, we go all? Doesn't that sound very Trumpian? Like, he contributed like 1 hour to the whole Q phenomenon, and someone in.
No, I think that would sound like years.
That's kind of my approach at it right now. Like, he was like, okay, that's a good idea, because he's Trump. He doesn't spend much time thinking about things, And then he said, where we go one, we go all, and that's all his people could get out of him. And then it ran with that. Like,
what's happening with the PSYOP is, I was hoping like 88 sealed indictments, and I was hoping that the Nixville guilt was going to be the domino effect to round up all these pedophiles because they're guilty of child trafficking.
I'm sorry.
That guilt, but the domino effect isn't happening fast enough. So that yellow letter that was given to all of the people at the Bush funeral, that could have been him calling a truce saying, I won't the rest of my term if you let me live. Who knows?
Okay. I don't think we're like far away from each other when it comes to our thoughts on Q. I think that, PSYOP, I'm glad you said PSYOP, and I think that people hang on to it because they want to hang on to the hope that they voted for Trump for the right reasons, and that there's, that they can still have hope in the CIA and the FBI. And the CIA and the FBI happen to be things that no one understands. You know what I'm saying? I think that's important to point out.
But you believe in Bernie, and he's a shrug. I don't believe in Bernie. Tulsi, okay, but
Fair.
I used to.
Fair.
But he said that Hillary won fair and square. That's bullshit. And he knows he's banging the Russia war drum. Bullshit. The whole.
I appreciate you saying that, actually, because it's true. I appreciate it. I believe in Bernie because I don't believe in Joe Biden at this point. We're living in complicated times.
He's a pedo. He's got a friendship bracelet that has a pizza slice on it with Obama. They're pedos. Did you know that Rainier was the plane? It was the owner of Nixvim, whatever. I don't know how you say that name. Nixvim?
There we go.
NXVIM. The Rainier, his brother in prison, said that his plane was what flew the $65,000 worth of hot dogs and pizza to the White House for Obama. All right, because that was in the emails, the WikiLeaks that Julian Assange is probably going to die for. We'll see.
Are you talking about Chelsea Manning or our dude? Man.
Assange.
No. Which leaks? The Chelsea Manning leaks or the Seth Rich leaks?
Seth Rich. This was known as Pizzagate, where the only thing that was killed was the hard drive. So
can you cite where you're getting this from? Because this is, it's hard stuff to talk about, and no one wants to talk about it, but we need citations. Where did you get this information?
Okay. Originally, it was the file drop by WikiLeaks of all the mail emails from Podesta, John Podesta, Hillary, et al. And it was called fake. It was like immediately.
Of course it was. Of course it was. We're getting it technically.
But then John Podesta came out, and rather than saying it was, he actually admitted it was his by saying Russia hacked it. Oh yeah? So you're saying that all this criminal information in these files was hacked? That means they are authentic, which means
right.
So in their own words, they said Obama flew in 65,000 and pizza from Chicago. Now, first off, the White House doesn't
already has lots of hot dogs and pizza,
and it's just like the old royalty where they would have testers to make sure it wasn't poisoned. So you got to make sure where you get your food. So them doing this is outside the rules and regs. And you had, was it 8chan or 4chan? The dark web, whatever it's called. They're the ones who knew the code words, like, hey, this is pedophilia code words. Hot dog is little boy. Cheese pizza, that's child porn. And there's one for, there's no little girls. There's all there's 8. You can look them up. The FBI knows the codes. They know the symbols for pedophilia, so that you can look up the FBI report on it. And so that's where it originally came from. The part about Rainier was just recently, it was a tweet saying that Jeff Rainier said this in prison, that it was his brother's private plane, jet, who flew in that much. Now, $65,000 worth is more than a small private jet can carry when it comes to hot dogs. You know how cheap hot dogs are. But when it's little boys, 10 boys, it could probably be that much, depending. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Wow.
So
that's
Joe Biden.
That's too little to pay for 5 years of someone's life. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, just hashtag for me is hashtag child Holocaust. And that is at the top of all these different tentacles of Hydra. We go after that, the linchpin, go after the pedophile ring, and we'll take them all down. Because it's through the pedo rings that they insure and blackmail politicians and various people to make sure they toe the line and do what they're told, or they die, become part of the ring, or they're outed as a pedophile. Even if they weren't originally, they'll honeypot. Like that's what Jeffrey Epstein did. He's all part of this, and they're actually looking into Jeffrey Epstein's sweetheart deal of being able to prison during the day.
My answer to what you're bringing to light here is: have you ever heard a good counter argument? No, you have never heard a good counter argument. Rich people get to do whatever the F they want, and they go on TV telling us all the time, every day, that they get to do what they want. So where's the counter argument?
Facebook had it, but then they cut out the Mind Unleashed. They dropped the Free Thought Project, not allowed. They don't lose. They dropped the Collective Evolution. All these different independent news stations were dropped because you can't.
800 in one day.
Yeah. So that was the counter argument, and they're good at censoring. Back to fascism. Fascism right or fascism left, they're both wings of the same bird. So,
right.
Whichever I go to, they're both extreme and they're both bringing fascism.
Right.
And
one of my biggest arguments that I'm going to make again and again and again and again is that we need more than two parties, because we're just being screwed by the corporations because they can buy both parties, and it's clear and it's obvious, and they can buy the voting machines and they can buy the news media. You know, it's just too obvious we need a third party. What do you got on that?
It's not even a third party. It's not about parties. It's about clean election reform.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get people hashtag clean election reform. Help me in Florida. There's a ballot initiative. We can get a ballot going to make sure we have a clear, fully counted paper trail. If we don't have, not by percentage, the whole thing gets counted by hand. We can have a ballot initiative to say that, so they can't cheat on that part. But crickets. I'm getting crickets. Nobody wants to, like, oh, let's vote for this one. I'm like, no, let's fix the system so we can actually vote and not have the illusion of voting. But crickets. Nobody's, like, joining me on trying to get this passed. We could actually do this in Florida and make sure there's no more rigging. We could.
Look, I'm sorry. There's a commercial playing. Those fuckers. No.
Is launching a new missile defense system with a cutting missile.
No,
The
stop.
complex known as Club K is designed to look
Here we
exactly
go.
like
Fuckers. Well, still going. Oh my god. I'm so used to the good old days where I could just pull up a news article and watch it while I talk to you. Now it screams commercials at me. Have you noticed that about the internet? Instead of like one commercial, now we get two. You know, instead of we don't get suggestions anymore. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's once they establish a control and get their foothold, it's a creep. It's a totalitarian two-step.
I'm seeing it. I'm watching it. I'm watching it happen, man. Lady, beautiful comrade. I'm watching it. You know, like if I let my YouTube go on auto, it'll just keep playing me stuff I've already heard before.
Yo, bro, like I know.
Nice. Good comeback.
So, well, I think that's it for me. I got
Cool.
things to go research and look up for yourselves. So
No, but I think we also had a good time, and we treated each other and every viewer like a real person. Like we succeeded at every goal that I have. So
Okay.
I thank you for your time a lot. Oh, you have no idea.
I wish everyone blessings, because honestly, that's the only way we're gonna get through this. So
Yeah, we gotta do it together. We are in this together. Yeah. So
I just don't want to be together in the slaughterhouse, line. That's the I don't want to be there.